Hi, I'm Jonas. This is my digital storytelling and it's about Scotland. Of all the countries in the United Kingdom, Scotland is the one I have a connection with. You see, my great-grandmother was Scottish and came from the small fishing village Banff, far east in Speyside. My grandmother is 50% Scottish, my mother is 25% Scottish, and I am 13% Scottish. My great-grandmother's name was Georgia Wilson. She met my grandfather Henry Kwelde during the Second World War when he was in Scotland to fight with the Norwegian Marines. After the war they went back to Norway and here I am. Governance and history. The Kingdom of Scotland was independent state until the 1st of May 1707. Since 1603, Scotland and England have had the same monarch. Both Scotland and England have been governed by the Parliament in London since 1707. After a referendum in 1999, Scotland opened their own parliament. Today Scotland is partly independent of England, having its own judicial and legal matters. Scotland have also an own education system and was one of the first countries in the world to have obligatory school. It also has a state church. The Scottish Church has conducted to maintain the Scottish identity and nationality, even though they are in a union with England. In 2014, Scotland will have another referendum to decide whether they should remain in the 305 years old union with England or not. Traditions. One of the most famous Scottish things is their national food, haggis. Haggis is a type of Scottish sausage. It contains entrails of sheep mixed with onion, oatmeal and spice. It is cooked in a sheep's stomach. When the sausage is cooked, the skin are cut in two pieces and eaten like meat mash. It is commonly served with meats and patties. Whiskey is also very important to Scotland. The most known whiskey brands come from Scotland, brands like Aberlour, Chivas Regal and Ballantine's. Another thing which must be mentioned is the bagpipe. The Scottish bagpipe is known as the Highland bagpipe, and it is the national instrument in Scotland. The bagpipe is used in funerals, weddings, and in other big happenings. The bagpipe is actually made of an animal stomach, with 3 pipes sticking out of it and a mouthpiece attached. In Scotland, every person has connection to a clan. Every clan has its own pattern in a kilt. The kilt is a skirt that is made for men. It is almost like the Norwegian national costume. My ancestors belonged to the Gun clan, and our kilt looks like this. Industries. The most famous industry in Scotland has to be whiskey. Speyside is the smallest region of all Scotland, but is the region with most whiskey distilleries. In 2009, Scotland exported food and beverages for £3.5 billion. 88% were whiskey. The landscape in Scotland is not built for agriculture, but there are some farms, and many of them have sheep. Aberdeen is a city in Scotland many refers with oil. Aberdeen has often been called the oil capital of Europe. Tourism in general, and especially golf, is very important to Scotland. Every year, thousands of people come to Scotland to play golf. Geography. The country is separated in 4 parts: Highland, Lowland, Speyside and Islands. The Highland has a landscape that is quite similar to Norway, except from the fjords. The landscape contains high mountains and the climate is very cold. The lowland and Speyside landscapes have lower terrain and more cities with more inhabitants. The islands, especially Orkney and Harris, have a very unique landscape. In the lowland you can find the biggest cities, which are Glasgow and Edinburgh. Glasgow is the biggest city, while Edinburgh is the capital and the financial centre in Scotland. Music, sports and literature. Celtic FC is the most famous football team from Scotland. Celtic comes from Glasgow and play their home games at Celtic Park. The team plays in the SPL, which is the Scottish Premier League. Scotland has a few known musicians. Simple Minds and Travis are two of them. Simple Minds had a big hit called Don't You, while Travis has a hit named Sing and Side. The world-known author Joanne Kathleen Rowland comes from Scotland. She is the author of the Harry Potter books. The movies about Harry Potter have also been produced in Scotland. I have found this assignment very interesting since I have learned more about my Scottish roots. Thank you.